Imagine you are in a first-century Middle Eastern village. It is the dead of night, the kind of dark you can feel in your chest. The streets are silent, covered in dust, and everyone is asleep. Then, the silence shatters. A man is standing outside a heavy wooden door. He is not knocking politely. He is pounding. He is hammering his fists against the wood, with such force that his knuckles are bleeding. The sound echoes through the narrow stone-walled alleyways. Dogs start to bark. Across the street, you can see the faint glow of oil lamps, flickering to life. The neighbors are waking up, and they are angry. You have to understand the world this man lives in. In his culture, reputation is everything. Honor is the absolute currency of survival. Waking up an entire village in the middle of the night is not just a nuisance, it is social suicide. It brings profound, inescapable public shame upon him and his entire family. He is making a fool of himself in front of everyone he knows. So why would anyone risk such disgrace? What could possibly drive a man to stand in the pitch black, bleeding and yelling, begging the person on the other side of that door to open up? We will get back to that heavy wooden door. We will find out exactly what he is screaming for, but not yet. Because to understand what is happening in the dark, you have to understand how you have been taught to talk to God. Most of the time you are told to be quiet. You fold your hands, you bow your head, you use respectful, sanitized words. You are careful not to ask for too much. You do not want to be a burden. You treat prayer like a formal negotiation with a distant CEO who is checking his watch, hoping you wrap it up soon. But when Jesus of Nazareth talked about prayer, he painted a completely different picture. The stories he told were not quiet. They were not sanitized. They were filled with desperate, loud, socially unacceptable people. This is not a story about being polite. This is not a story about waiting your turn. This is not a story about a distant God who does not want to be bothered. This is a story about the shameless audacity required to approach the creator of the universe. Picture Jesus sitting on a dusty hillside. He is looking at a crowd of people who have been crushed under the weight of religious rules for their entire lives. They have been taught that God is distant, that God is easily offended, that they must clean themselves up before they even dare to look at the sky. Jesus looks at them and tells a story. Imagine you are a man living in a small village. It is midnight. A traveler arrives at your door, exhausted and starving. Cultural scholars like Kenneth E. Bailey point out that in the ancient Middle East, hospitality is not just a polite suggestion. It is an absolute, unbreakable law. If a guest goes hungry in your home, the shame does not just fall on you. It falls on your entire family. It falls on your whole village. Your honor is entirely on the line. But your cupboards are bare. You have nothing. So you do the unthinkable. You walk through the dark to your friend's house. You start knocking. Your friend is inside, but a first-century home is usually just one room. The heavy wooden door is barred shut. Your friend is sleeping on a mat on the floor, surrounded by his wife, his children, and even his livestock. He calls out from the dark. He tells you to go away. He says the door is locked and waking up will disturb his children. He is annoyed. He wants to sleep. But you do not stop. You keep pounding. You are waking the neighbors. You are making a scene. Jesus looks at the crowd and delivers the punchline. He says the man inside will eventually get up. But not because he is a good friend. He will get up and give you whatever you need. Because of your shameless audacity. The original language here reveals something incredible. The word Jesus uses is anideia. It does not just mean persistence. It means a complete lack of shame. It is the willingness to look foolish, to break social norms, and to risk total embarrassment just to get what you desperately need. Jesus is telling the crowd that God is not looking for polite requests. God wants your anaideia in an ancient city. He does not sit in a sterile, modern courtroom. He holds court in a tent, surrounded by guards and wealth. He is corrupt. He takes bribes. He openly admits that he does not fear God, and he does not care about what people think. He is untouchable. And then there is a widow. If you are a widow in the first century without a grown son to protect you, you are a ghost. You have no money. You have no social standing. You are entirely invisible to the legal system. Someone has wronged this woman, and she is facing ruin. She has no bribe to offer this corrupt judge. She has absolutely no leverage. All she has is her voice. She walks right up to his tent. She demands justice against her adversary. The judge ignores her. He shoos her away like a fly. But she comes back the next day, and the next, and the next. She becomes a public spectacle. She is shouting. She is relentless. She refuses to accept the silence of the powerful man in the tent. You can feel the grief and the sheer exhaustion in her bones, but she will not stop. Finally, the untouchable judge breaks. He mutters to himself. He says that even though he does not care about God or man, he is going to give this woman her justice, simply because she keeps bothering him. He wants her to go away. But listen closely to the words the judge uses. He says, "I will see that she gets justice, so that she won't eventually come and attack me." The Greek word used there is hypopiazo. It is a literal boxing term. It means to strike under the eye, to give a black eye. This wealthy, powerful, arrogant man is terrified of a penniless widow. He is afraid that her raw, public desperation is going to ruin his reputation. Her persistence is giving him a metaphorical black eye in front of the whole city. Her shameless audacity has completely shattered his power. Two stories, two deeply flawed people holding the power, a grumpy friend and a wicked judge, and two desperate people who refuse to take silence for an answer. Jesus is setting a trap for his listeners. He is about to flip their entire understanding of God upside down. Pay attention to this. Jesus is not saying that God is like a grumpy neighbor who wants to stay in bed. He is not saying that God is like a corrupt judge who needs to be annoyed into doing the right thing. He is using a classic Jewish teaching method. He is arguing from the lesser to the greater. If a sleepy, irritated friend will eventually give you bread just to make you stop knocking, and if a wicked, heartless judge will eventually give a widow justice just to save his own reputation, how much more will a father who actually loves you respond when you cry out to him in the dark? He is not annoyed by your need. He is waiting for your honesty. If you are finding value in this journey through the overlooked moments of Scripture, take a second to subscribe and leave a comment below. It helps this message reach more people who need to hear that God is actually listening. Now, hold that thought, because Jesus is about to take this idea of shameless prayer and apply it to the most dangerous place possible, your own soul. Here is what most people miss when they read this next story. Jesus is shifting the stakes. We are no longer talking about social embarrassment. We are no longer talking about physical survival. We are no longer talking about temporary justice. We are talking about the eternal survival of your soul. Jesus takes his listeners away from the small villages and the dusty tents, right into the most sacred place on earth, the temple in Jerusalem. It is a massive, echoing courtyard filled with the smell of incense and the sound of sacrifices. And standing right in the center, where everyone can see him, is a Pharisee. If you are standing in that first century crowd listening to Jesus, you do not hate the Pharisee. You admire him. He is the pillar of the community. He does everything right. He gives 10% of everything he makes to the poor and the temple. He fasts twice a week to show his devotion. He knows the scriptures backward and forward. He is the kind of man you want your children to grow up to be. The Pharisee takes his posture. He stands up to pray, and his words are perfectly polished. He says, "God, I thank you that I am not like other people, robbers, evildoers, adulterers, or even like this tax collector." His prayer is completely sanitized. It is polite. It is structurally perfect. But if you look closely, he is not actually asking God for anything. He does not need to. He is entirely self-reliant. He is simply handing God his religious resume and waiting for a stamp of approval. He has religion, but he has zero desperation. Then, Jesus points to the other man in the courtyard, a tax collector. You have to feel the absolute disgust the crowd has for this man just by hearing his title. In the ancient Roman world, a tax collector is not just a government employee. He is a traitor. He is a Jewish man who bought a franchise from the Roman Empire to extort his own neighbors. He gets rich by forcing widows and farmers to pay illegal fees, backed by Roman swords. He is wealthy, he is corrupt, and everyone in the temple courtyard knows exactly who he is. If you are in that crowd, you are probably wondering why lightning has not struck him yet. This man does not march to the front of the courtyard. He stands far off at a distance. He knows exactly how broken he is. He knows the damage he has caused. He has no religious resume to offer God. He has no good deeds to use as leverage. We have moved from a man needing bread for his guest and a widow needing a judge for her life. Now we are watching a man who realizes he has absolutely no right to exist in the presence of a holy God. The tension in the courtyard is thick. Everyone is watching this traitor. Everyone is waiting to see what he will do. The tax collector cannot even bring himself to look up at the sky. He stands at a distance. He beats his chest. In the ancient Middle East, beating your chest is an act of profound mourning. It is a gesture reserved for funerals. He is mourning his own soul. And then he speaks. 7 words in English. "God have mercy on me, a sinner." But the English translation hides the overwhelming weight of what he is actually asking for. The Greek word he uses for mercy is hilaskomai. It does not just mean to feel sorry for someone. It is a specific temple word connected to the mercy seat on the Ark of the Covenant. He is literally saying, "God, make an atonement for me. Cover my sin." He knows he has no right to ask this. He has broken every rule. He is a traitor to his own blood. But in his absolute brokenness, he finds a terrifying kind of boldness. He finds the audacity to ask a holy God for the one thing he cannot buy. Think about a parent in a sterile hospital waiting room at 3 in the morning. It is well past visiting hours. The fluorescent lights are buzzing, but that parent is standing at the nurse's station, relentlessly begging the weary night staff to check on their child just one more time. That parent does not care about hospital protocol. They do not care if they look unhinged. They do not care if they are being polite. They only care about life. When you are truly desperate, you stop caring about looking good. Which brings us back to that dark street in the middle of the night. The man standing outside the heavy wooden door, pounding until his knuckles bleed, waking up the neighborhood, risking the anger of the entire village. He was not knocking because he was rude. He was not trying to be a nuisance. He was knocking because he knew the master of that house was the absolutely only one, who had exactly what he needed to survive. He was willing to look like a fool. He was willing to lose his dignity because his need was entirely greater than his pride. Jesus is telling you that the creator of the universe is waiting behind the door, and he is not sleeping. He is waiting for you to stop pretending you have it all together. He is waiting for you to knock with that exact same shameless desperation. So what does this mean for you? First, it means that true prayer is not a polite negotiation. You do not need to clean yourself up, organize your thoughts into perfect theological sentences, and wait for the right moment to speak. Prayer is about bringing your raw, unedited, desperate need directly to the Creator. Second, God is not offended by your shameless persistence. He is not the grumpy neighbor trying to sleep. He is not the corrupt judge swatting you away. God is actually offended by your prideful self-reliance. When you pretend you do not need Him, like the Pharisee in the courtyard, you walk away completely empty. But when you come with absolutely nothing but your need, like the widow and the tax collector, you are heard. Finally, and most importantly, the God of the universe is leaning in right now. He sees the absolute mess of your situation. He sees the heavy wooden door you have been standing in front of in the dark. And He is simply waiting for you to stop pretending you have it all together. He just wants you to ask. Which of these three stories changes how you view prayer the most? Is it the midnight knocker, the persistent widow, or the tax collector? Tell me in the comments below. Do not wait for the perfect moment. Go knock on the door.